I'm your host, Sergio Cervantes. We're going to bring up our first guest of the night. He's a singer-songwriter. He came all the way from Lubbock, Texas at the moment. Please give it up for Chris Richburg, everybody. Come on. So you're a singer-songwriter, man.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been playing guitar for about 14 years, and I've been writing for the last 4, but I've only been performing for about the last year and a half.
Really? So this is oh yeah, you might want to turn my shit down this. I feel like I'm overpowering the guests here. I shouldn't be doing that.
I'm probably not talking to the microphone.
But so you've just been performing for a year and a half? This is all new to you?
Yeah.
That's a surprise, man. I thought you'd be like a seasoned veteran for this, but...
No, I just look old.
Where have you been around? Just around West Texas so far?
Yeah, I played in West Texas, up in Lubbock, and I played in Carlsbad. I'm getting ready to play Maridosa and Red River, and I've been down in Houston and Galveston.
So you've been a lot further than just West Texas, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's amazing.
But
how would you describe your music?
Americana, for lack of a better term. I don't really identify as like a country artist.
Oh, okay. You would just rather not put yourself in a genre, or?
I definitely lean more towards the songwriting aspect of it.
Oh, okay.
That's more important for me.
That's what's up, man. You have any influences? Like, what got you all into this in the first place?
I was just it was something I started doing to pass the time, and I just started like looking on like Ultimate Guitar and like learning guitar tabs.
Yeah.
Then it just kind of progressed into writing my own music, and I had a buddy talk me into going and playing a show. I'd just gone through a divorce and some other stuff was going on, and I found that it helped like alleviate like depression and anxiety for me. So I'm very thankful that I found out that I had like coping mechanisms other than like prior ones that I'd had before.
And especially music, man, it's probably one of the most powerful coping mechanisms you can have for something like that.
Even if like you're having like a terrible day and you know the week's going to shit and you know you have a show coming up that weekend and you get to go up there and let it out playing.
Yeah.
And so I'm very thankful for having the ability to be able to play and sing.
Oh hell yeah! I'd imagine. I mean, because I'm not saying I'm any sort of musician, but I mean, I play the guitar every now and then. I try to diddle dabble along. I try to write songs. Oh my god, that shit is hard. It's a lot harder than writing jokes.
Yeah. Well, but I like it because you can always. There's always more mastery to the craft that can happen. Like it's never, even like playing guitar, like you're never going to be, even the most awesome guitar player you think is awesome can still be better than they are, and they're still striving to be better than
Yeah.
So I like the songwriting part of it, and a lot of it's having to go and ask for feedback from people that maybe wouldn't necessarily want to hear sometimes, but it's all part of like growing and figuring out how to put a song together. And
yeah, it's all part of the process. It's all you learn by doing and shit like that. Yeah. How do you go about? Do you start with lyrics first? Do you go with a beat, a rhythm, or anything?
Usually I have like some sort of chord progression, and I kind of hear like the words in that. And sometimes I'll be typing on my phone. Other times I'll be writing in like a notebook. I've got like 7 of them littered all over the place.
Yeah.
Other times it's like on Post-it notes, and I can, because you can fit like a verse and a chorus on a Post-it note each, and then you can rearrange them and find like a way you want it. So it's been different for me each time I've done it. So it's very, it's hard to be like, I know this is the formula, because it's not like that.
Oh yeah. I don't think there's any sort of formula for being an artist, somebody who writes anyways, because like that sounds like a lot of what I do. You know, if I have a piece of paper on me and then like some stupid thing comes to mind, I'm like, I have to write that down.
Right.
There's never like a permanent notebook that I have. I mean, I do have one, but I mean, I'll scribble something down somewhere.
It's definitely a lot of like, you have to sit down and commit to the time of like writing.
Yes.
Like you can get lucky and, you know, pull something out of your ass every once in a while and be able to write something, but I think, you know, because even if you're just doing creative writing, like there'll be a line in there or something that may stand out and something else will come from that. So.
Oh yeah. It's like writing dialogue or something like that. Yeah, and that's always fun too. But writing is such a bitch.
Yeah.
Writing is. I mean, I love it. I really do. But when you're sitting down and actually doing it, oh my god, you're just bang your head on the wall.
Sometimes, but then you have that moment where wherever it comes from, and like. And it's effortless, and you're like, all right. Or if you've ever played golf, I played golf for like a very brief time at one point in my life, and I suck at it. But every once in a while, you get like one good hit, and you're like, yes, I'm going to come back and do it again.
Yeah.
So it's sort of the same way.
Yeah, because you'll get into a flow state. And then everything just comes out.
And it's encouraging, like, when that happens and people, like, need that when it happens. Because it's just constantly, like, fighting, trying to get something out. There's no, like,
like, there's no real passion behind it. You're just forcing something. And that's always the worst when you're just trying to force something. Especially music, a laugh, writing. People know that. Audience will always know. But do you have any special influences, man?
I listen to a lot of Guy Clark. There's a band out of Denton, Texas called Slaughterbound that I really dig. And I grew up listening to like Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam. The Dog. I mean, I'm an older dude.
No, I got you.
I listened to a lot of punk rock when I was younger, and like Social Distortion, NoFX. So I have like, it's really hard when you're first starting out and trying to like figure out like what you want to sound like when you
gotta really find voice.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been a really cool process.
And you're still finding a voice at the moment.
Yeah, I think you're always finding a voice. Like, I mean, even, you know, if you take your most favorite artist, like, not every album's the same, and at some point you're like, oh man, that album doesn't sound like that first album. Yeah. And you can't really expect people to sound like everything the first time.
Yeah, because then people stop going to your concerts and stuff.
Right, and it limits those people, man. I mean, because it's creativity, and whenever it happens, like, it's the direction that it needs to come from usually. And I think when people sit there and like force to try to write like certain topics, like that's not something I can do. Like it's never been.
Yeah, people who try to like go out of their league and they try to write something.
Yeah, or they're like, I want to appeal to this group of people, so I'm going to write a song like this. Like, it works for some people. For me, it has never been something.
Yeah.
I have to write about things that I know or something. Or I've experienced somehow. It just has to be in there for me. I'm not knocking other people that don't do that, but as far as like where it comes from for me, that means something. That's where.
Yeah. You're staying true to yourself, and that's what you need to be doing, man. That's the best part about being an artist. You know, if you're trying to replicate something else, I mean, you're not justifying anything to yourself or even the audience. You know, because I think the best thing you can do for yourself as an audience is do what you want. Do what you want to do. Find out what you want to do, and the right people like it, you know. Yeah.
And at the same time, like when you get constructive criticism back from people, like, you know, I've asked people that I know that will give me honest answers, even if it's not something I want to hear. They won't sugarcoat it for me.
Yeah.
And you know, there's been times they're like, hey, you know, something you've written, I know it's about you, and like I don't want to know that it's about you all the time. I want to be able to like maybe feel like it could be about somebody else.
Yeah.
But you're still able to convey that, and I think that's important to hear as well. Like if you want to continue to grow in like your writing process, because you can leave something open-ended where it could be, you don't really exactly know what the backstory is, but you know there's a backstory to it, and you can interpret it however you want to, versus this is how it is.
And that's music. That's something I feel like only music can do, you know? Like music can transcend you into a different a different realm in your consciousness, and that's fucking beautiful about the whole thing. With movies and stand-up and all that, it stays in one position. But music, it's so relevant to everybody, and I wish I could hear you play tonight. I really do, man. I want to see what all this is about.
I was doing my regular, like, everyday job. So I had enough time to, like, get off a rooftop from hooking up units today, take a shower, and come down here from Lubbock to do this. But the Desert Flower is one of my favorite places to play at. I really appreciate everything that Gene and Jeremiah have done for people to come and have a place to express themselves, because I mean, they've got really awesome art hanging on the walls and photographs. And
hell yeah. Give it up for Janine again.
They have stand-up comedy here. They've had stuff for people to come and do paintings. You can catch a hardcore show here. They've had drag shows. They've had country and western people play. They've had rock bands play. I mean, it's a very open atmosphere for creatives. And Big Spring in general has done a lot for their downtown area, but this is still somewhere that it's not just for music. You're able to come.
Oh yeah.
Because there's not many places you can come and do stand-up.
Oh yeah, this is like the only place you can do stand-up comedy here, at least here in Big Spring.
Yeah, and so whenever Janine asked if I come down, I was like, yes.
Just because you love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, this is like one of the first shows that I've booked was at the Desert Flower. I came with a buddy to play here, and I've played here several times since then, and I'm very, very thankful that there's an environment for people to come to.
Oh, hell yeah. Same. Thank you very much, Janine. What you've done for artists here is it's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome, man. But you have a show here soon? I want to hear you play. I probably have heard you play before.
I don't have any shows booked here yet.
Okay.
I'm playing in the area, but I'm not going to say where. Right
now. Come on, where can we find you, man?
Yeah, I'm going to be at the train car on Friday.
All right.
With my buddy Ox Martin from Lubbock, Texas. We're going to be song swapping.
Dude, hell yeah! I'll definitely try to catch you, man, for sure, man. But I think that's all the time we have for you. I really appreciate you, Chris.
I appreciate it. This is nice to meet you.
Movie director, he is a writer. He's up and coming. He has a movie out, Carnage Radio. I'm pretty sure he has more than that going on right now. Please, everybody, give it up for James Pike. Come on. Go ahead and have a seat, man. How you feeling?
Good.
Hell yeah, man. What's going on with you?
Doing an interview.
I mean, life-wise, you're a director, man.
Yeah, you said Carnage Radio. That's doing the film festival circuit right now. We actually shot that. It was written as a full-length feature film, and we made a short film based on it to try to get the funding to make the full-length feature, which we are being successful with that. We are going to be shooting it next July. Here at Big Spring, the full-length feature film.
Oh no, dude! So, I've noticed it's gotten a lot of attention, and like that.
It kind of blew up.
Yeah, it did. It really did, man.
We didn't really expect it to blow up as fast as it did, but the city, they have been very supportive. They were like, "We want you to make this movie. What can we do to help you?" They're backing us up 100% on it.
That's awesome. Were you the guy behind the camera getting all the shots? Man?
Yeah, I was the writer, I was the director. Brandon Johnson and I, we did a radio show at KBYG, Movies on the Radio, and we were talking one night. He's always been in acting, he's been a producer on my other films, and he was like, I want to do more acting, I want you to do a demo reel for me. And I came up with this idea about a serial killer calling into our radio show and just messing with him.
Yeah.
And so like a week later, it's like, yeah, I got an idea for your demo reel. Let's do that. And then a week after that, it's like, I think it's gonna be a short film. And after that, I was like, hey, it's kind of grown. we're making a movie, a full movie. And then it went back to a short film to try to get the full movie made.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome. They just came out like that, like, oh, well,
Yeah, we did the local screening here, and we thought some people would show up.
Which I was at my way. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Those fucking shots were amazing. I know nothing about cameras and camera angles, but that was really good.
Well, the thing about it, we decided, let's make this movie for absolutely nothing. We found talented people around town. It was made all with people from town. Zach Campbell did the cinematography. Brandon was the lead actor. All the cast is from Big Spring. All the crew. The makeup artist, Claudia Leos, she ran the makeup counter at Bell's for years. And I was like, hey, do you want to do makeup for us? And everybody worked on it for pizza, Coke, beer, all that stuff.
That's awesome, man.
So I was like, let's do this, make it legit, make it look like a real movie.
Mm-hmm.
And during the film festival run, we've had people approach us like, so how much did you spend? And we're like, well, how much do you think we spent?
We have the 555 deal.
Yeah, they'll throw out like 20,000, 30,000 probably. I was like, oh, okay, you think that. So
That's
like,
flattering.
Yeah, but we did for nothing to prove a point. It's like, you see what we did with nothing. Imagine what we could do if we had something.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so that's
that with nothing. I'm really anxious to see what you guys have for a full-length feature film.
Well, it's worked out. We've run into some other filmmakers who saw it, and they're like, we want to help you make this.
Yeah.
We got a producer up in Missouri who's coming down. He's like, I got the same cameras that David Fincher uses. I want to bring my cameras down.
God.
And he's like, put me on as a producer. I want to come down and help you make it. So we got the equipment, we got the talent. We're hoping to get enough funding to maybe get a name actor in there, somebody recognizable, but keep it local is what we want to do also.
Like just shoot the whole thing.
The whole thing's going to be in Big Spring. Yeah, it was written with Big Spring as a character, the actual city.
That's always the best.
And every location that's in the feature script, I went and talked to the person first. Janine, I was like, hey, I'm writing this scene, I need a bar. Can I use your bar? She was like, yes, you can. And she also wants to be a killer or be killed, I think. So that's what everybody does. They keep coming and saying, hey, I want to die in a movie. Like,
I want to die in a movie.
yeah, everybody wants to die in a movie. You know? It's like they're telling me so many deaths. I'm not doing Friday the 13th yet, but that's the ultimate goal. There are those guys that want to do Star Wars. There are those guys who want to do a Marvel movie. I'm like, no, I want to do Friday the 13th.
Something low budget and like
Yeah, something fun.
yeah, something fun. Doesn't cost a bunch of CGI
And
money.
that's the thing about Carnage Radio when I was writing it. I finished, I was doing a second draft, and my wife and I were actually doing a marathon of the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah.
Because she had never seen them, and I was like, you know what this movie needs? We need some fun kills. So the second draft involved doing some stuff like that.
Some fun kills.
Fun kills.
So that's what you lean towards. You lean towards more the horror genre.
Well, I do everything. I've done. This is a psychological thriller. I say you take No Country for Old Men and Halloween, you put them together, and you got Carnage Radio.
Oh my god.
My last movie was I See Something, which was a throwback to 80s horror like Poltergeist.
Uh-huh.
And it was pretty successful. It brought home some awards and stuff. And before that, I did an artsy documentary about an artist.
An artsy documentary.
Yeah. And so I've done a little bit of everything. I'm shooting we just finished shooting the last episode of a PBS TV series called In Search of the West Texas Word Seed.
Yeah, which my very good friend Israel Valdez.
Yeah, he was there
a
one
piece in
day.
there. Yeah.
So that's we're finished shooting that. We just shot a music video for the band Big Spring for their song Texas Women. And actually tonight we just got the final approval for the edit, and it's going to be premiering in a couple of weeks.
So you got a lot on your plate right now.
We got 2 more music videos we're shooting. We got another short film we're shooting in July, and we're staying busy.
It's good. You mentioned No Country for Old Men. Is like the Coen Brothers, the kind of a giant influence for you?
Their style, kind of the laid back style that they have, is an influence.
You see it with the Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see it a lot in there.
Yeah. Raised in Arizona. What's funny is they got their start working with Sam Raimi on Evil Dead.
Oh shit, really? I didn't know that about
them. A lot of their style came from Sam Raimi in their early films, Raised in Arizona. If you watch that and watch Evil Dead 2, you'll be like, they're kind of similar.
I need to go back and watch the Evil Dead. I've only seen it once, just one time.
Yeah.
But you got the Coen brothers, anybody else?
To influence me, well, of course, I mean, there's always Spielberg, old Spielberg.
Kubrick?
Kubrick a little bit. I don't know, I take influence from a lot of different people. David Fincher a whole lot.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's got a very clean style.
Yeah.
And everything about it is just precise.
The thing about Fincher, there's all these filmmakers, they're all like, nothing's shot on film anymore, it's all digital.
Yeah.
I love digital. I love the fact that you can look at what you just shot right there. I love the fact, I believe heavily in the power of post. They always say, never say fix it in post. I'm like, no, you can fix everything in post if you need to. Especially if you do guerrilla filmmaking. Where we film, that's our technique, guerrilla filmmaking. Shoot it with what you have and make it work. And there are a lot of times where we'll shoot something, I'm like, if we shoot it like this, and then do a little tweaking here on set, and I do something later, it's going to turn out right. And a lot of times I have to tell people, just trust me. This, you don't think this is going to work, trust me, it's going to work. And most of the time it does.
And it's all because everything's digital now. Like digital on film, like none of this would.
Film looks great. It's got a very organic look to it. Digital is getting really close to replicating film. A lot of times you won't be able to tell the difference, but I just think the advantages you have, the way you can manipulate the image and stuff. I mean, David Fincher, he shoots and he's in Adobe Premiere, the same program that you and I could use right now. In fact, I use it. And he's in there just tweaking it right there in Adobe Premiere. I mean, stuff that anybody can buy.
Yeah.
And that's what he uses.
Adobe Premiere, he really
Premiere, and he uses After Effects to do half of his effects, and he does them himself. The guy used to work for Industrial Light and Magic, so he's an effects guy.
So he just knows what he's doing with the camera.
Yeah.
And there's hipsters out there like Tarantino who really want to save film, which isn't a bad idea.
There's nothing wrong with Tarantino. Every film he's made has been great.
I fucking love Tarantino. I really do.
And the guy, he shoots on film. He knows how to shoot on film, and he does it well.
Yes, he does.
There's nothing to complain about what he does. But the evolution of it allows people. Now the market's been a little flooded. There are some people that maybe shouldn't make movies. There's been some things I've seen at some film festivals. I'm like, how did this get picked?
I was wondering that too, because it's so easy to make a movie now. There must be so much garbage out there.
There's one movie this film festival run. I am not going to name the filmmaker or the film as much as I want to, but it's been at every festival we've been at, and we're all like, that thing's here again? How did this thing get here? And we know why it's there. It's because if you made it, it's a name. And we're just like, this is a piece of art.
It's a studio name, or like somebody knows, like
it's somebody in the industry, not big studio name, but it's just one of those things where you're just like, this movie's getting there because these people want to get closer to this guy.
Oh yeah. Man.
Now I don't want to dish people, but that
it's like that everywhere. In stand-up, it's like that. In film, it's like that. In the music industry,
and I know there are people that probably see my stuff. They're like, what's that guy's stuff? I mean, we got reviewed by Film Threat magazine for my last film. Film Threat's kind of a big deal, and they reviewed I See Something, and they gave it 5 out of 10 stars. And I commented on that guy's post. I was like, I will gladly take those 5 out of 10. Very much for the acknowledgement and the exposure. And the reviewer actually wrote back to me on Twitter. He was like, oh, no problem. I mean, I see where you're going. You're going somewhere.
Hell yeah. Dude, you really are, man. Like that.
We're trying.
Dude, I fucking believe in you guys. Carnage Radio is getting much needed respect and getting all this, the views it's gotten. you guys deserve, for sure.
Thank you.
For sure. Hell yeah, man. But what? It's still in festivals right now.
Yeah, we're actually we have 3 coming up. We just got accepted to the Fort Worth Indie Film Showcase.
Oh shit.
We got
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're happy to be in that one. We're also going to be at the South Texas International Film Festival, which is a pretty decent festival. We're really excited to be in that one. I was in that last year. And we're going to be up at the Red Cedar Film Festival in Wisconsin. Going up north.
Whoa, maybe soon enough we'll be at Cannes eventually.
I've submitted
a different movie. You know,
I've submitted to Cannes every time. Not yet.
What about Sundance? I know nothing about Sundance.
I've submitted to them. That is a long shot to get in.
Yeah.
If I ever get into one of those, I'm just going to quit my day job. I made it. I might live on the streets afterwards. My wife will divorce me.
You live in the fucking dream now, baby.
I'm in Cannes. I'm not doing this stuff anymore. Yeah, I made it.
Fuck yeah, man. But Fort Worth, you're in there. That's awesome, man. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time. Our busy schedule to
Can I plug real quick?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Carnage Radio. We're on Facebook, Carnage Radio. It's got a website, carnageradiofilm.com. If you want to go keep up with where we're going and what we're doing.
Yes, sir.
And checkbrain.com. Check Your Brain Productions. It's also on Facebook.
You heard it here, guys. James Fight, everybody. Writer, director. One more act. He's a comedian. He's coming up. And he may have done your tattoo. We don't know. Please, everybody, give it up for Rhett Giles. Come on. Go.
Thank you, sir. What up, Big Spring? How you doing today? Tonight? This evening? As you can tell, I'm hobbled. Yep, I injured my leg just recently. I was teaching some girls how to do pirouettes, and one of them, my ballet career is over. So now I'm just going to be teaching only at this point. No, I do tattoos for a living. I've been doing tattoos for 10 or 12 years now, and I always get asked, what's the worst part about getting a tattoo? People are always curious and where's the most painful spot to get a tattoo? And I said the most painful place to get a tattoo is anywhere you're going to put your ex's name. Anywhere. That's people come in, they're like, you shouldn't get. People's like, we shouldn't get names, right? It's a curse. I was like, you should get whatever you want. If you get someone's name, that's just repeat business for me, though. So that's just to cover it up later. So I had a guy come in once, and he goes, he came in, he's like, I want to get a tattoo of my wife's name across my chest, but I want to get a design that is already ready to go if we ever break up, that would cover it up instantly. And I was like, the foreplanning in this man's brain was, I was like, I wasn't even offended by it. I was like, you know what, that is a wise choice. I wish more people would do that because it just doubles the art value. Anyway. So now, whenever people come and ask me, about getting a tattoo or being a tattoo artist, and getting their first tattoo. Getting your first tattoo is a lot like the first time you ever have sex. It just is. And it's not that the first time you have sex isn't good, just the next time you have sex will be better. Just saying. And my job, I'm very much like a prostitute, I really am. People come in, they pay me money, there's a little moaning and screaming. Sometimes there's a little blood, whatever. And then once you pay, you leave, and 2 weeks later you come back and we do it all over again. That's just how it goes. I do love tattooing, man. It's been a big part of my life. It's gotten me all the places I need to go. And tattooing is one of those jobs that you can take anywhere. It's like I don't know, driving a truck or prostitution. Yeah, they say prostitution is the oldest oldest career, right? Like they say it's the oldest profession, right? And that's got to be bullshit because I know those whores were fucking going to get blow a dude to pay money to their tattoo artist. Like, so I don't know. I feel like there's a line drawn somewhere. They can find bodies with the oldest bodies they found have some of the most beautiful tattoo work I've had, and there's not a lick of syphilis on them. So I'm just like, I mean, I don't know if they're not doing their jobs right. I don't know how it goes. And I believe in fair wages for men and women, even in the prostitution industry. I'm just saying. That's like, I'm just saying, blowjobs should be the same across the board. I don't care if you're getting in a truck stop parking lot from Bill or Jane. I'm just saying. Now, so anyway, I adopted a dog recently. He's my buddy. I love him to death. It's weird that they call him rescues because it's weird that they call him rescues because it's not like I pulled him from a burning building or anything. And anyway, but you know, it's like as we've grown in our relationship, you know, it's like he's my buddy. I love him to death. But it seems like he's always trying to kill himself around me. He loves me so much. It's like he's trying to fulfill his part of a suicide pact. You know, it's like there's stuff I don't know what to do about it, man. And there's this one time, like I came into, we were playing in the yard and everything. I threw his toy across the yard. And as he's running it, he's just staring at the toy, and he runs face first into the side of my friggin' shed. And I just hear his whole body, and he's super fast. And he is full speeding it, and boom, and he just hits, and I hear his soul leave his body, just like, and then he looks at me, and he turns, and he stumbles, and he collapses on the ground. And a lot of people don't know that at shelters, they come and check on your dog, so as he's hitting the ground, the only thing I can think of is, fuck, I'm gonna have to tell the fucking the dog shelter that my dog ran away. I'm gonna have to bury this fucking dog. Anyway, but he gets up, he looks at me, and he walks towards me a little bit, you know, and he goes pees some blood, you know, and he's fucking good. And I was like, that is a good friend if I've ever had one. He doesn't cry for wine. He just pet him a little bit, and he's happy. And then the next day, I walk into the kitchen of my house, and as I walk into it, he's eating his food, and as he's eating his food, he sees me out of the corner of his eye. He's so excited, he jumps up on me, and he inhales the food that's in his mouth, and he starts choking instantly on this food, and he's just trying to get this food up, you know, and I know the Heimlich maneuver on people, but I know the Heimlich maneuver on dogs, and so I think the best thing I can do is just, you know, kick the living shit out of this fucking dog, right in his fucking ribs. And he goes, and as I reared back to kick this dog in his ribs to get this food out, he collapses on the floor, and the impact of him landing on the floor dislodges the food, and it sprays out in front of him. And then he slowly regains consciousness. But as he hits the floor, all I can think of is, fuck, I'm gonna have to bury this fucking dog and tell the fucking Humane Society that he fucking ran away. And anyway, so he gets, as he comes back to consciousness, he stands up and starts eating the fucking food, and he's good. And later that day, you know, I'm stretched out on my bed, I took a nap, and as I'm waking up from it, I'm yawning, I'm stretched out and yawning. And as I'm yawning, you know, fully open mouth, my airway gets cut off instantly, and I don't know what's in. I panic, and I start feeling like what's going on. And this dog has jumped up on the bed and he wonders what's going on in my mouth, and he sticks his whole snout, shit-eating snout, in my mouth. Like I can feel his whiskers cutting against the inside of my cheeks. He licks the back of my throat because he loves me so much. And I pick up this dog and I just throw him. And he just slams body and head against the fucking wall and slides down the wall. And then, if anyone asks, he fucking ran away. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate it. That's my time. Y'all have a good night.
One more time for Red. Come on. Come on. The people of the bar just still at the bar? Like, all right, man. All right. Well, that was it for Around the Desert for tonight, you guys. I'm your host, Sergio Cervantes. We're doing this every Monday. We'll see you next week. You guys have a great night. It's going to be on YouTube, man. CNGI Entertainment. Thank you guys so much.